talking back to.
Jasmine. Oh my God. So funny. Oh, that's a chick from Tennessee. Or in Texas. So let's go back in. Still.
All right, my friends, we are back live with you. Thank you for sharing that out on Facebook. There's already 200 shares. Please copy, paste it wherever you can, folks. That is 2 hours of hard hitting in your face. Don't ever take the jab. Don't even think about giving it to your children. And here's why. And there's multiple reasons. My friends, we are joined by our dear co-hosts, Todd Gedeminski and Cindy Johnson. Guys, welcome. What's happening?
Hi, guys.
Hola, señor.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Así.
Así.
All right, muy bien. We'll do the whole second show in Spanish for our Latin America group, folks.
Yeah. Deportes. Like
Deportes.
Deportes.
Hey, how are you, my friends? What's happening?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Hey, you usually do the first couple minutes.
Yeah,
So,
I literally just was sent, just like minutes ago, beautiful pictures of baby Grace, our little star,
President
Awesome.
Gray.
President Grace.
Who's
And
home now?
yep, she's home. She went to
Yeah.
her first appointment with her pediatrician. It was a house call. They still do those. It's amazing. And they're doing a night
Amazing.
nurse still, so
Do
they're
they still do they still bring the little black bag
That's a good
and
question.
the
I don't
stethoscope?
know. Maybe Grandma Cat will answer that in the chat. But they're still asking for prayers because they still need that night nurse. But the parents are doing well, and they did the first trach change since they got home, and it went through good. So
Wow.
all signs are good. So that's wonderful, wonderful news. And I was going to
Awesome.
send those to you in your email, Dave. I'm just doing
Sorry.
it right now because they literally
Okay.
just came over to me.
Hot off the press.
Yep, hot off
Awesome.
Grandma Cat's press.
Hey, I just noticed we are live on YouTube. We did come back on YouTube, but the first show is not yet up on YouTube. That takes a minute before you can use that link. Excuse me, just FYI on that, folks. And you're going to send me this stuff in email. Awesome.
Just sent it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chuck and many of you, sorry for the low volume tonight, my friends. It's one of those nights where it just left me. Like the opportunity to play it through the system just left me, so I got to turn it way up and put my mic to it. So sorry for the sound, the low sound. Let's see. Okay. And here we go, my friends. This is Baby Grace. Oh, boy.
Is that not a beautiful way to start out the second part of the show?
Amazing
my
Grace.
Goodness. Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. Wow. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Look at
Oh,
those
my
eyes.
Wow.
She's such a fighter.
President Grace looking good.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, Todd, what year? What year, President Grace? Is it
We
like
got to be 35, right? Is it
20
30?
2062? What are we looking at here?
I think she's going to do it when she's 40.
Fabulous. Wow.
So
You know,
2061.
you've got
There
a
you
baby.
go.
You've got a baby that's fighting like Baby Grace. You've got a dear grandmother Cat and parents who are fighting for this child's life, and you have a bunch of evil kleptocrats that are trying to destroy children between the ages of 5 and 11. And sterilize them and do horrible things to them. It's just that's why we must stand. You're not coming after our children without a fight. You are not coming after our children without a fight. And this is what that fight looks like. We will fight with every ounce of energy that we have, and we will not let you take our children. We do not trust you with our children. Let's get that straight. We don't trust our children with you. Period. End of story. Any of you politicians, bureaucrats that are taking away our constitutional rights, we don't trust you to do anything with our children. I wouldn't let you walk my child across the street. Period. End of story. So, for those of you who have shared out the first show, thank you very much. Please drop it in any chat rooms, any place where you can go. Please get that out. That's a huge show that we did.
You all get a new car.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Starting with me.
So, no kidding. So, I wanted to also say that we are indeed in for the fight of our lives, and we really have to each step up and do our job, do what we can. This has come into our living room. Todd, Cindy, they come right into our living room. They've forced you to homeschool, Cindy. They've forced many of us. They're forcing undue stress on us. They're forcing me out of California. They're doing horrible things. This is not freedom by any stretch of the imagination.
Did you ever think in America?
Well, unfortunately, I saw this coming because I was, paying attention to what they were saying. But that's not what our founding fathers, even though they were Masons, I don't believe that they anticipated this kind of thing, which is why they gave us our Second Amendment. Right? That's why they gave us our Second Amendment. I hope it never comes to that. But when it comes down to forcing me or my family to take a jab and the Second Amendment, I choose the Second Amendment.
One thing we have is a lot of hunters, and we're all patient. We sit for hours and hours and hours in freezing cold weather.
Yep.
Just to get a shot.
Yep.
Not that we're threatening anyone.
No. But we're patient people.
God has given us patience in many circumstances throughout our lives to make us ready for this fight.
And he gave us a brain that works.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And it's a good point too, Cindy. And I know that some people made some comments about Fauci earlier in the chat. And please, folks, make sure that we're not on the wrong side of history by threatening anybody with anything other than, due process under the law and, a trial.
That wasn't a threat. That was basically just saying, the type of personalities, the people that we're dealing with, the people that they think they can push.
Yep.
If it comes to it,
yes.
We won't back down. I'm not going to say that. So.
Yep. Oh yeah, and the other thing too, guys, is that I had Christy put the show notes. Put in the show notes the link to the YouTube show. And so, folks, you can share that whole document with somebody, right? You can share that whole document with somebody, including the link to the show. And you can connect with them that way. And there's, and it is now up on YouTube, folks. It's now up on YouTube. So you can share it from there. You can share it from Twitch. You can share it from anywhere. Certainly Facebook. So, one of the things we talked about was the Hydra vulgaris, which is a water parasite, and that's what looks like is what they've put in the jabs, and that's affecting us. And we talked about the temperature and so forth. So don't forget about watch the water when it comes to Q. Okay. And how that might relate to that. Don't forget about watch the water when it comes to Las Palmas and a possible half of a mountain falling into the ocean because of the volcanic eruption that could cause havoc in 150 foot waves on the East Coast that could travel as far as they say 12 miles possibly. So that's a watch the water as well. Todd, what are your thoughts, and what did you play with today that you might want to share with the Sneds?
Oh, I think I looked at every possible scenario of News Unlocks the Map. I looked at, first of all, I wrote down some things today, and you might have mentioned some of it when you were talking about Fauci and Pelosi, but I just. Guys, if you just listen to Fauci, Pelosi, and Biden, all you're getting, and even Psaki or her backup, I forgot her name, LaPierre or whatever her name is, Pepe Le Pew. They all got an A today and yesterday for word salads.
Word salads?
Yeah, they said a lot of consonants and vowels out of their mouths, but they didn't say one damn thing that made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's like a toss salad, right? It's not even
if
an
you watch,
order.
watch Fauci, he's the whole time he's just thinking, how can I explain that I redefined gain of function, right after the
Yeah,
email he got, and so
yeah,
it's not gain of function because we redefined it, and
exactly.
that little weasel, he needs to go back under his bridge,
Yeah.
and never to be seen again. And Pelosi, I mean, I don't know how people can really take these people serious. When you look at her speak, I mean, she looks like she's having a seizure.
And
Oh
all of
yeah.
our hand
Her
movements.
hand
Oh my God.
gestures, and you mentioned Fauci was shaking, and
Yeah.
it's just the words didn't match the gestures, and it was so awkward to sit there. I mean, I watched all this stuff today, and I'm going, how could somebody go, yeah, Nancy, I believe in you. You're the best.
I
Hey,
can't wait to vote for you again.
Joe, you're such a great orator. I mean, I love it when you talk about sticking that needle in there. I mean,
Ew.
he's just so creepy.
Creepy.
Get your vaccine.
No.
It's creepy, sleepy Joe. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
how
Horrible.
could you not be awake at this point? I mean, I know people don't pay. Maybe they don't pay a lot of attention. Maybe they're at work, but it's hitting home for everybody right now.
Totally, dude. Absolutely.
And I guess the minions that say, "Oh, we're supposed to go get poked today," they just go and grab their whole family and go. I mean, it's shocking how many fall into that category.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always listened to the leaders, and it's shocking to me that any one of these people is in the position they're in.
Well, they were. Imagine if you had, all the top corporations and the banks behind you and had you compromised.
All
That's how
right.
they got there, right?
Yeah, it's certainly not on merit of any kind.
No, no.
Just look at the oddity of last week when they were talking when they were having the interview. Oh gosh, who are they talking to? They're having all those meetings up in the Senate and having people testify. And one of the big things was how they were eliminating the crack cocaine part of basically Joe Biden's crime bill in 1993 crime bill.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
isn't it funny that they're revoking the part of the crime bill that made it 100 times more penal to be caught with crack than powder cocaine. It made it differentiated between crack and powder.
And what's the big difference between those two, Todd?
Well, I mean, I think the delivery, one of them smoked, and I think that goes right to your head and is, it's highly addictive.
It's the money. Because crack was a cheaper version of cocaine because it does more with less. And so you can get crack a lot cheaper than cocaine. So who is that going to affect? If it's 100 times more punishable, it's going to affect, the minorities, the poor people, the inner cities.
That's exactly what it did. That's what it was designed to do.
That's exactly it was designed that way. No question about it. No question about it.
And that's his one piece of legislation in almost 50 years in office as a senator.
So sad.
He put it, I mean, basically he led that, and that's when he gave the speech, Predator speech.
Yeah.
When he talked about his mother and saying, I'm not going to have my mother knocked on the head because some crackhead wants a rock.
Right. Right.
And that's when he was Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even his double is, I mean, both Joes are corrupt.
Yeah.
He's two of them are twice as corrupt.
Yeah.
There might be four or five. You never know.
What's that, Cindy?
I said there might be 4 or 5. You never know.
Yeah, an army of Joes.
Yeah.
Well, they ought to get them some more rest because otherwise, then they won't fall asleep in their big climate meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why Trump called him Sleepy Joe, dude.
Yeah.
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 Think about it, right? He was there for
Yeah.
the world to see. He was at the worldwide climate, conference where they're trying to say, people, we need to wake up to the climate crisis because we're going to be underwater here. See, folks, I'm not concerned about the climate crisis because I'm about 6'8" now. So I'll still be breathing when the rest of you are underwater. So I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to, I don't need to worry
And I'm
about
a good
that.
climber. I'm a really good climber.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd take me down just to get on top of me.
Yeah, you got to watch it when people are, short people start panicking around you, Dave. They'll climb you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm outnumbered. I shouldn't have said anything.
They'll be like, "Put your arms out."
I'll
Put your arms
pretend like I'm the same height as everyone else. Oh no! Oh no! And then I'll wait, and then I'll go.
The shrinking man.
Yeah. So here, everyone's supposed to wake up to the climate crisis, right?
Yeah.
And he's sleeping through the whole damn thing, man. That was and Sleepy Joe.
This is existential threat, right? This is like Panic City. This is like falling asleep during a nuclear war. Is what basically what they're akin to. What they're comparing to. It's like the house is on fire. The house is on fire.
Yep.
I'm almost through my nap. I'll be out in a minute.
Hey, Mr. President, you can nap on the private jet back home on the way.
You and the other 400 people that took private jets there.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
400 private jets to meet about.
Is that what it was, dude? 400.
Yeah. It was.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the estimate.
Wow.
Whoo,
And
boy.
along with an 85 car like SUV parade through.
Of course.
Yeah, that was
85.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And they had to drive. Apparently, they drove around 90 miles in and out, and they went 4 miles an hour at a lot of the time. So you're talking a lot of emissions all the way around. You get emissions.
Well, Todd, they went slow to conserve fuel. You know that, right?
Right.
That's why
because they didn't want to wake Joe up. They were rocking him to sleep.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, I didn't see this, but we were talking about Youngkin. I shared a lot of dives on Youngkin because of his ties with Carlyle Group. Yep. And how they're tied to Dominion voting and so forth. Betsy Jones dropped some beautiful stuff here, my friends, on Paul Michael's Facebook page if you want to go check that out. Glenn Youngkin talking about his Chinese investments at the World Economic Forum. So he's heavily invested in China. Glenn Youngkin supposedly worth 16 million, 16.7.
Around that to 17, Dave.
Yeah, there you go, 17 million. Who will Glenn represent as governor of Virginia? Terry McAuliffe, the Clinton cabal, the sinister Soros, we the people? Do the research, connect the dots, okay? He has cash ties to Soros and Clinton. Now, here's the thing. He is going to be exposed very, very quickly if he doesn't do all the things he said he was going to do. And that's going to be beautiful to watch. Very, very, very beautiful to watch.
And I always beware people that pop up on the national scene as heroes.
Yeah.
So when I look at this, the Lieutenant Governor, Mrs. Sears.
Yes. How fabulous is she?
She looks like the person the poster child for the American dream.
Yes.
But you must dissect everyone and not just accept everything that you see, all the flashiness and the, you've got to dig and find out, who these people really are.
Yes.
That we rooted across the line.
By the way, when I was critical of a black woman who came from Jamaica, I was called a racist. But hey, I'm all for this Jamaican immigrant who's a black woman. I support her 100%. And if I was in Virginia, I would have voted for her. Hey, a great drop here by Veronica Steer. By the way, Veronica, so glad that we're connected because you're dropping some gold.
Isn't she
my friend.
great?
Yeah, she's really good.
Crushing it.
I went down her whole page yesterday.
Yeah, crushing it. Crushing
She
it.
had
So
great videos of leaders of foreign countries. Also, the guy in front of the EU, and then I believe it was a Russian oh my God, it was fantastic.
So this one is the Panic in D.C., right? The now playing 456. Here's the Guardians of the Pedophiles is the movie on the left, right? Jury selection in Ghislaine Maxwell trial to begin Thursday. Okay, that was today. Panic in D.C., Glenn Youngkin's Virginia victory, grim warning for Democrats ahead of midterms, right? They're all panicking based on the election of what happened in New Jersey and Virginia and Ohio. And then,
Dave, they're only the only reason that they lost Virginia was because they didn't get the bill through that they wanted. They need action.
Oh yeah. I saw that interview.
Oh my
that
God,
was unbelievable because they didn't pass the spending bill.
Yeah, they didn't spend enough money. Otherwise, everybody in Virginia would have voted for them.
Hey, can you guys imagine if before our show we're given scripts and Cindy, you have to come up with that. You have to deliver that line about that. The reason why he lost is because they didn't pass that spending bill. And we're in the studio. Thank you, my dear.
I'd be busting out laughing.
It's Joe Manchin's fault.
We're in the studio together trying to keep a straight face. And Todd and I are laughing the hardest because it's like, you got to deliver that one. And we're like, glad I didn't get that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Please don't be on my monitor.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
thank you. I'll pass.
Right. So also, then you've got the FISA-gate, right? Authorities arrest analyst who contributed to the Steele dossier. Okay. All of this happened on 11/4, right?
Yeah.
And that was 11/4. That was Podesta, right? And here on the 5th, okay, of 2018, 3-year delta, 24-27, we have, guys, there's rumors exploding all over Twitter that Skippy Podesta committed suicide. Digging for real sauce on this. By the way, real sauce, folks, right there. You got it here, all right?
Sauce.
And a fabulous salad. So I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to eat that. So, fake news, but both brothers do have a pending sealed indictment. Okay. So we got that to look forward to if it hasn't already been acted upon, right?
Why don't we just pop that open?
Yeah, why not? Let's pop that sealed indictment wide open, my friends, and make that maybe the first arrest, maybe the second. Hey, dude, they're getting closer and closer, and dudettes, my friends. They're getting closer and closer. I'm coming out with a lot of dudes tonight. We're getting closer and closer to Hillary and to Barry. So yeah, they've got to be sweating bullets.
Good.
If they haven't already been united with them, we don't know that, but
yep, exactly. So so a lot going on. I mean, can you guys just believe, like, how much is happening right now. I mean, it's just
Well, Dave, if Q isn't if Q isn't real, they've had some amazing coincidences.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, amazing. For 2 years, they've had amazing coincidences.
yeah.
And we've been stretching so far. I mean, you'll see on my dive. And you know what's funny, Dave, is, I was looking at El Donald Trumpo, I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what date that President Trump endorsed Youngkin?
May 11th, maybe.
Yeah.
That was just a guess, Todd. I didn't read your Facebook post at all. I just guessed that because
Good guess.
it's the way my mind works, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely 5D.
Oh, dude, I am. I've transcended.
Oh my god.
Now, I didn't say what
5D.
D stood for, Dave.
Oh,
I
Lord.
didn't say what D stood for there.
Yeah, exactly. Five. It's like double D breast size, but I'm 5D. So that's what that's all about.
Oh,
So what? Yeah, let's dig into that if you would a bit, because you had I liked where you were going with that.
I just think it's amazing how that 511 keeps popping up because they're going to vaccinate kids between ages 5 and 11.
Right.
Why is it 11? Why isn't it 4 and 12?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it 6 and 10? I mean, who made these numbers up? And they matter. It's just like, who said, that we have to be 6 feet apart, 6 feet from the front, 6 feet from the side, and 6 feet from the back. 666.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing.
Absolutely. And how about Pfizer with the 666 and the logo?
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm seeing 666 everywhere.
Yeah.
And all this time I'm going along, and the first thing I do in the morning is I look at the financials in the stock market, and it just keeps going up, and I'm going, inflation is rising. You can't deliver your goods. I don't care. Everything's drying up. Now they're saying I'm seeing people are sharing information with me saying that truckers can only get 60 gallons of gas or diesel. They can't get they can't fill their tanks. I don't know. I can't confirm it, but it sounds like it would be something that they would do in order to break the supply chain.
yeah. Gina Fortney Gal shared that this afternoon with us.
I mean, I'm not surprised, right? I mean,
Right,
look at everything else that's going on. Why would we challenge that?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I haven't confirmed it, but it sounds like it fits right in.
Yep.
And and that was my post on Facebook that I mirrored 511 to 11.5 and remember the 5th of November.
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta.
Predictive programming.
It's absolutely amazing that 511 starts popping up, and it's weird, Dave, how the series of numbers, if you've looked, and we've gone over this, on every dive we do, it's like there was a time when 1s and 4s were everywhere. There was 13, there was 666, there was, it's constantly a set of numbers. And what do these people go by? What's important? It's always important for them in their numbers. And I think the white hats are turning that around on them.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, it goes back all the way to World War II. It started on 11/11 at 11 o'clock, and it ended on 11/11 at 11 o'clock. That's not an accident.
Right.
There are no coincidences.
The dates, as much as we get into the dates, as much as we get into the timestamps through the dates, as much as numerology has played a factor in all of the drops, right? It's you can't not look at the the numbers and the dates and think mirror, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely. And it goes throughout all of this. It's, I mean, everything's about numbers here.
Yeah.
It's always referring to letters back to numbers because that's the way. If you look at every alphabet that's ever been written, it's always had a background in numbers associating with letters. It's gone. I mean, and if you look at even in the Bible, you can do. There's a lot of numerology in there.
Yes. Yes. No question about it.
And I've always said, one thing that you can't argue with is math. There's, and it's a constant. 2 + 2 is always 4. It's never 5. And if anybody
Unless you're Common Core.
anybody that tells you that, and that, see, they even, like you were talking about, when you were talking about, getting rid of the soul,
Yep.
and all that, what do computers do? Computers equate everything to a 1 or a 0, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so if you look at
Binary.
what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn us who are non-binary. Sounds funny.
So, you know how I told you the story about when I met Joey Pantoliano at Sundance, Joey Pants, and he told me, dude, I just did this movie. It's going to change the world. And he told me about The Matrix at the time. And I'm like, wow, I've never heard an actor talk about a movie like actors always pump up their movies. Oh, this one's going to be great. This one's, that's what they do. They because they're selling their own stuff. The better the movie does, the better they
But
do.
Dave, Tom Hanks doesn't do that.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that once or twice. Like he's got how many million followers on Twitter, and he doesn't promote his movie once.
Not since I believe it was 520. See,
So-
I went back to that date too.
So anyway, so Joey and I, we really hit it off, and we kept in touch. I really liked him. He's a New Jersey guy, actually. Grew up in Hoboken. He wrote a great script that we were talking about doing together. But when I was hanging out with him one night, he had we were at he was a member of a cigar club in Beverly Hills, and really high end. Like, I don't know what it costs to be there, but like I was obviously just visiting, kind of deal. But Hugo Weaving came and hung out with us. And I literally spent the night talking to Hugo Weaving because Joe was off doing some other things, and he kind of left. And Hugo played V for Vendetta. He played V, and also played Mr. Smith in the Matrix series, and that's how Joey got to know him. But at any rate, great guy, fantastic guy, and he's an Australian. So it'd be interesting to find out like what he thinks about what's going on in Australia right now.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's tragic. I mean, to imagine what's going on in your homeland. I mean, because think about, what we're going to be feeling, because what we got happening right now, my friends, is like, look at what we already have going on here. You have Sean Daniel Hartman, Pfizer, early September 2021. School in morning as 11-year-old girl goes into cardiac arrest and dies. Remember at school when other kids would die suddenly of a heart attack or in their sleep? No, me neither. Tributes to student Adam Ali, 17, after sudden death. Chloe passed away peacefully in her sleep on Tuesday morning. Sophia Benrira, 17-year-old student, dies 7 days after receiving the jab.
But Dave, 7 days, she's not vaccinated. So that doesn't count.
Exactly, because it's got to be 15 days or 2 weeks before they're considered fully vaccinated.
Yep.
Look at all these names. Look at all these people. They're dying. these young children. And now they're going after our 5 to 11-year-olds, 11, 5, 5, 11. I don't know, brother. What do you think? Do we have, what's something going to be done tomorrow? Certainly, all these states are stepping up.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be the main event. I don't know if we've had if you're talking like a boxing match. I don't know if we're done with the preliminaries and now we're ready for the heavyweight bout. But it sure feels that way. It honestly does, because, I've said that the Dems look very, very panicked even after they won supposedly the presidency and they had control of the House, and they have 50-50 with they got Kamala casting the deciding vote there. They never looked happy. They never looked comfortable, and they cannot keep the word Trump out of their mouths.
No, they can't.
None of them. Have you ever heard a word so much out of political candidates and people who are, usually once a president or, becomes a former president, the exit stage right, you don't hear about them for 6 months or a year unless they're doing a fundraiser or something.
Right.
And this is not typical, and they know what's coming. Don't tell me they don't. You can see it on everybody's face. Nobody's comfortable. If they were all comfortable and knew what was going to happen, they wouldn't be acting the way they are. And I believe, we've gone down those posts that say bad actors, because I think they're all really bad actors.
I'm tired of eating popcorn. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, we're tired of it, but the revelation process never was going to be easy.
I know. I was just kidding.
I know, but I mean, and this is you mentioned Australia. This is worldwide. I mean, how do you run a takedown worldwide and get it done on your little? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, and then we're going to finish it off. This has all been planned out, or we're definitely in the Matrix.
Yes.
Because none of it has made sense. And we predicted this, Dave.
Yeah.
We predicted, we were going to have to stare into the abyss, and it was going to have to reach every person in the United States and every person in the world. And if you look at all the protests, have you ever seen so much? And mainstream media is not covering it. Wonder why.
Yep.
We've gotten videos in Australia from our friends there that they had a still camera in a street where you could probably fit about 30 people wide, and it went on for hours, packed in like sardines. I don't know, just a guess, over 100,000 people. Because, I've seen crowds in the big house in Michigan, I've seen them leave exits at the University of Florida, and that had to be almost as big as the people that would have filled up Florida Field, the swamp. Speaking of that, that's so funny. I went to a university that's football stadium is called the Swamp, and now we're trying to drain it. It's so crazy. But it's just, it amazes me that there are still people when we can give 50 things that Trump did well, whether you liked him or not. Oh, mean tweets. Oh yeah, my TV told me to hate him. If he took all that apart, if he stripped it all down, and I did it on one post, I said, President X these are his accomplishments. President Y, these are his accomplishments. Which one would you vote for?
Right.
It's like, how can you can't survive on hate. It's impossible. And to me, you're seeing how much it takes effort to hate people. And I think the people that hate Trump so much, they're almost tired of hating him.
Well, they're running out of finding reasons, making up reasons.
Right. Because the guy that you elected supposedly to be in office now I mean, how could you be proud? How when they take these polls, Dave, it amazes me.
Yeah.
You know, is Biden doing good on this? It's 54 to 46, and they're like, oh, he's underwater on that. And I'm like, who are these 46?
That's why we know it's a show, and the show. Why are we in a show? Why do we need the show? Because Q said sometimes you cannot tell people the truth. You must show them. Only then at the precipice will people find the will to change, to participate. We, the people, have been betrayed for a very long time. Will you stand for God and country, for freedom, for humanity? Where we go one, we go all. For many, you cannot tell them the truth. You must show them. Only at the precipice will people find the will, strength to change and break the system of control. Be free. We are at the precipice, swamp fighting back. Remain calm. We are here for a reason. Patriots are in control. Important to understand, only at the precipice, moment of destruction, will people find the will to change. This needs to be about the people, you and me, all of us, finding the will to change it all of it. All of it. The hospitals, the universities, the doctors, the nurses, the clinics, the Hollywood, mainstream media, education system, religions. Look at the religions that they took away from us and didn't stand up for themselves. They allowed our First Amendment to be taken away from us, and now they're coming for the Second. And if they get that, all you got to do, is look to Australia to see what happens there.
And then you've got all the predictive programming that's been going on for years, decades.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but hear, all we are is just another brick in the wall. And then there's that line that says, hey, teacher, leave those kids alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
teacher, leave them kids alone.
Yeah. You're going to get us knocked off now.
Oh, yeah, because they're definitely... It sounded just like it, so they're definitely.
Yeah, that's why I kind of broke mine up a little bit.
As a matter of fact, if you have that Shazam app, you can back that up and click it, and it'll take you right to it.
Shazam. Shazam. Oh yeah, Dave. And also with the stock market going to all-time highs like it's been going, which doesn't make sense when. All these people, all these people that are getting let go from their jobs because they won't take the poke.
Right.
So they're going to be a big, when they're losing their houses and losing their cars and losing everything, because they don't have a job. There's, the stock market looks 6 months to a year in advance. They're not looking at today. They've already figured today out. So you're predicting earnings 6 months to a year down the road. Well, if I'm any kind of a financial planner, how do I have a clear picture?
Right.
How can you predict, growth? Our growth of our country, our GDP is, down below 2%, and it was 6% under Trump.
Yeah.
So none of the financials make sense either. And that kind of brought me to where I was just looking at the ticker this morning, and I saw Moderna went down 18%.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, why would a jab maker drop 18% in one day?
Mm-hmm.
When they're doing nothing but pushing jabs and the government's paying everybody? What's going on there?
Yep.
And it just doesn't make any sense. Supply chains broken, inflation coming, unemployment spiking, wages down, even though Biden lied about it. There's no way when inflation goes up and your wages stay the same and they don't increase with the inflation, you can't call that a raise. The people are not making more money when everything else costs more.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
it's inflation adjusted. It's always inflation adjusted.
And by the way, we and just for those of you who are coming on late and missed the first half of the show, we cut it off right after the show notes. It was a strong, really powerful 2 hours. Please check that out. Please share that if you think it's share worthy. It's already been shared hundreds of times. So thank you all who did that. Excuse me. I want to say that one of the Sneds, Kurt, said that 1233 and Anon asked Q, is there a way to win once and for all? April 21st, 2018, 3:34:34 after 3:35:58. Anons, I'm struggling with something for the future. Hold on, let me pull this up. While we should never have gotten to the point where we need Q and POTUA,
Potois.
yeah, Potois, to drain the swamp for us, we nevertheless did. Fine, I trust the plan with a faith that I thought I'd lost. I think that the victory of good over evil is a foregone conclusion for our republic based on what we are witnessing. Bad actors, evil, corrupt, venal psychopaths eliminated from positions of power, fantastic, and Godspeed. But how do we stop it from happening again? Or are we just like the Matrix and the machines destined to keep repeating this over and over throughout history? Is there a way to win once and for all? That's my question and task for my descendants. America has spoken. This is basically the voting of the counties that this Anon shares with Trump and Biden, and so it just goes to show you how red, America really is, and
well, it's
so
the same. Even if you looked in that micro race of Virginia, the only places that Dems have support are in urban areas, heavy urban areas.
D.C., the swamp, really, and then down in
Northern Virginia in particular, because it's so close to D.C., they all work there. They don't want to lose their job.
Exactly.
I mean, it's money motivated.
Yeah, totally. And so, then down, I think down Virginia Beach as well. But yeah, that's where the Dems are, right there in D.C. Okay, this is Maryland, this is Virginia, and this is the Potomac. So this is the Virginia side of the Potomac right here, right? All blue, okay? And that's Fairfax County, by the way, and that's where they're holding back votes and have been, okay? And then, but back to Q. This is and this is a response. This is what the next 6 years is about. This question. So Q, Todd, I believe this is Q responding here, although it doesn't say this. Okay. Unless it's another Anon repeating this. Okay, but no, I think it is Q. This is what the next 6 years is about, this question. Then goes further, they will lose black vote once Haiti revealed. Okay? Lost now, awakening. They keep them enslaved. What did Hussein do for the black community versus POTUS? You were just talking about it, right?
Yep.
Not even close as to what they're doing. But just like the
Well, and
Matrix and the Machines, like we were just talking about that.
And we were talking about the lieutenant governor who mentioned that she was going to fully fund the black communities, the black college, historical black colleges and universities. I'm assuming she's talking about Virginia because that's all she's going to have control over. But in my recollection, Trump took care of them for like the next 10 years. So I didn't know what she was referring to.
Didn't Biden repeal some of that?
I don't know, Dave.
Cindy, are you able to? Do you have access to something to look up?
He's on my computer, so no.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been suicide, I think, politically losing, because if you don't vote for me, man, you ain't black.
Yeah.
Remember?
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't recollect him. If he cut funding to that, I just can't imagine that. That must have been below the radar.
Well, this was just October.
I lost you, Dave.
There we go. Thanks, bud.
Right.
So, leaders of historically black colleges and universities say President Joe Biden's budget package falls far short of how much the historically underfunded institutions need. The aid currently penciled in for $1.5 billion in the bill to be distributed over a period of 4 years beginning in 2022 is much less than supporters anticipated, putting historical black colleges at a disadvantage and risking Biden's support from a key constituency. And the final number could be even lower. The president's original $3.5 trillion Build Back Better plan is under intense negotiations in Congress, where key moderates want a more modest plan closer to $2 trillion.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering what that is. Is that over and above what Trump did? Because he was crowing about not having to meet with the black leaders anymore. That was an annual trek to Washington that they had to take, and they had to go up there and ask for funding, and nobody ever took care of them for multiple years until Trump, and he crowed about 10 years being taken care of. Now, this bill goes far out, past that, so maybe they're talking they want to be funded, farther than that in the future, and I don't blame them, because if you're running a college and you have a 5-year window, or you have to base what you do today on what are you going to build a new library? Are you going to have a giant computer area, or what research are you going to do? Are you going to have football? Are you going to have sports? Or you have to base everything off of your budget.
So Trump said that he signed a bill that provided $250 million a year to the nation's historically black colleges and universities, along with dozens of other institutions that serve large shares of minority students. In signing the bill, Trump said historically black schools have never had better champions in the White House. Let's see. So Michael Lomax, president and CEO of the United Negro College Fund, thanked Trump and thousands of advocates. They sent 20,000 supporters to write and call on their members of Congress. This activated army of advocates became the front line of support for historically black colleges, and they won the battle for our institutions. It restores $255 million in annual funding that lapsed September 30th after Congress failed to renew it. A Democrat Congress failed to renew it. facing an end to the funding. Some schools had started planning for deep cuts, with some telling staff their jobs or programs would be eliminated.
Wow.
So Trump kickstarted that. Then the Biden put in 45. The Dems put in 45 billion in the $3 trillion fund, $3 trillion one that they're asking for. But now that that's going down to two trillion and below, they're looking to go from 45 billion down to 2 billion. So that's going to fall by the wayside, it looks like.
Well, that's because you have to have 80 billion to fund the new IRS army that's going to come and take all our money because
Yep.
this is free, right? It all pays for itself. So why do you have to
Exactly.
hire an army of IRS agents to probe everybody's bank accounts?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Exactly.
It all adds up, doesn't it?
It sure does. Sure does.
Back to math.
Did you find anything interesting in your dives?
Oh God, yeah. I did. Yeah, I always do. But we had a brief discussion, this evening before the show, and a lot of it talked about it's almost like we do our dives and we get the information, and then they have to reiterate it for the other students in the class. So a lot of it took us back to the same dives. But I did find some really cool ones. In particular, I used News Unlocks the Map because Red Wave was all over the news.
Right.
And the other thing that I had been led to over the last month, a drop that says signatures are important. And that goes along with the follow the pen. But if you put Red Wave and you put signatures are important,
Okay.
and just go to the signatures are important, because that's one drop in particular that I've been sent to a lot lately. And that will lead you to why I went on to a drop in the Red Wave drop.
Okay. And by the way, Catherine Herridge said, tonight talked about this, what was unfolding in the.
Hey. Shh.
Okay.
That's part of my dive.
Oh, sorry.
Don't think you're ahead of the class here.
You mean by having her on the show a couple hours ago? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
With a strong jawline.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Incredibly strong jawline.
Right? Am I right? I mean, that she is chiseled out of a block of granite.
She is. I wish.
Oh
I
my
had
God. I wish.
Yeah, she almost looks like she almost looks like an alien. She kind of communicates like one too. Like she's so meticulous and precise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So 143, brother, take it away.
Okay, so I'm going to read off your screen right now.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna call you Calgon.
Take it away.
Because you're going to
Calgon,
eat.
take me away.
You're going to eat. So, okay. Now, this is a drop that I've been sent to quite a bit, and it's never really made a lot of sense. I mean we've read it before, but the last line is important, because what Q considers a signature is the last thing that he puts on, like if he puts Godspeed, or if he puts just any one of God, what am I trying to say?
Tagline.
Yeah, the last thing he says is his sign off.
P.S. It's like P.S. or
White Wall, or
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, the Bloody Wonderland. Whatever the sign off is, that's what's important. It says right here, there are a bunch out there. Here is one. The CIA has 7 supercomputers, and they are all named after the 7 dwarfs from Snow White: Doc, Dopey, Bashful, Grumpy, Sneezy, Sleepy, and Happy. And then down at the bottom, Q replies, confirmed, go deeper. Signatures are important. And that goes along with and struck a chord with me how many times I had been there, and we knew about the computer, so it's not like it's not relevant there. But what he's telling us is we've got to pay attention to the signature. So when I plugged in Red Wave, there's only one drop that has a signature Red Wave.
Right.
The rest of them are all in the drop themselves. So when you go to 2250, it says, and that's September 21st, 2018, you may not have read about this GOP victory because the liberal national media is not exactly excited to report that the Republicans reclaimed a seat they had not held in 139 years. Quote, this victory is even more frightening because the district is 73% African American and Hispanic. Read carefully, significant, Red Wave.
Wow. Texas offers a blueprint for a red wave election in November.
It's all over the place, Dave. Every
Yeah.
pundit said Red Wave, and
Yep.
People, even some other, I think it was, I saw like even the Red Wave itself, like just the post of a red wave, like in a tube,
Right.
And so that was the news that I thought was, significant when we're talking about the upcoming events. So I paid attention and just used it to navigate here on the map.
So,
But then this drop, takes you to 278.
right here
two
in blue.
in
In blue. By the way, Todd, this whole how significant after the election that Virginia fell to Republicans. When was the last time a Republican held Virginia?
Right. 12
and-
years, I think. I think it's been 12 years.
Is that right? So, and then you went to number 278, right?
Yes.
And okay, let's go there.
Now, this could be significant, and it's pretty in your face.
There we go.
December 6, 2017. HRC tried to cut a deal today. We said no.
Yeah.
And that led me also to following Huma.
Right.
Because that's what we do. But before we do that, Dave, I took the 278 and I broke that down because I'm led in a different part where Huma is referring to Huma's drop.
Mm-hmm.
When I do hers, I'll tie it in with 27 and 8.
Oh, 278. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we've never broken it down like that before, but I noticed that 27 is very prominent in the Huma drop. When we get there, I'll show everybody how it ties.
Okay, 27. November 1st, 2017. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it was a delta for Monday?
Yeah.
So it says, not everything can be publicly disclosed because so much ties back to foreign heads of state. We were just talking about how this is a world event. This is not just the United States. Much will be revealed. We want transparency, but not at a cost we can't recover from. And, if they would have jumped the gun and not shown everyone what they're up to, what these evil POSs are up to, then think of the kickback. Think of the Trump's trying to take over the world. Trump's trying to be, it would have just been chaos.
Yep.
All this had to come. And then we go to 8, and here we are back to Huma herself, which I'll tie back together. But and she spoke of this, and we spoke of this just recently, why she would testify, and why she would probably cooperate in wearing the canary yellow dress when she did her little circuit. I think she's been singing like a canary, and I think this is a reveal. But October 29th, Huma, husband in jail, HRC, Muslim Brotherhood, or child. So there's your choices. You got HRC, you can be loyal to her. You can be loyal to the Muslim Brotherhood or your child. If you don't testify. So what would you do? Kiss your child goodbye and leave without a mother or father, or for Clinton? Where is Huma today? Well, we'll show you later. Was she with HRC on her book tour? And the funny thing is we took that in context, it was on HRC's book tour, not Huma's. Regarding military intelligence state secrets, no FBI. POTUS installed his people within each spot at each three-letter agency except one. Good reason. Thereas Admiral Rogers kick-started this and scrubbed all POTUS nominations to verify oath. Do you think they aren't in control of those respective agencies? Look what we just had today. How is Durham able to go unfettered right now? Wouldn't you think they'd say, "Hey, why don't you slow down and not prosecute HRC because she's our buddy?"
Right.
Right? I mean, if they truly controlled all these levers, the first thing they would have done, Dave, is stop Durham.
That's right. That's right. If the Dems were in control, if the deep state was in control, no way that Durham comes out with the Michael Sussman indictment, or this recent one, the Russian.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Yep.
Sorry, I got to get this computer on a charger. For some reason, this isn't working. We started with 96%, Dave, and I'm at 9 now. What is going on here?
That's
your
weird.
charger, Beth? Yeah. I mean, just before we got on with you, it was at 96, and now I'm at 9.
We've only been on an hour and 12 minutes.
Have we been on that long? It doesn't even feel like it.
No, it doesn't. You've been talking a lot.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were eating, so.
No, I'm teasing you because I'm a man of few words.
Well, yeah.
You know.
I thought, when I got home and I was like an hour late coming into the show, I thought maybe I'd just still be hearing you on the check your coat part, but you don't.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done. Well played.
I'm like, oh my God, he's past check your coat. Holy crap, this is gonna be a good fast show. Yeah. All right. So back to the drop. So it says POTUS installed his people within each top spot at each three-letter agency except one. Good reason, Admiral Rogers. Do you think they aren't in control of those respective agencies? What is most valuable? Information. AG sessions on leakers. Fire or prosecute. Reorg is underway and happening. Coincidence? Senate Republicans pushing for Fed judge confirmations last week. Think of all the federal judges they put in. Now, not all of them, unless they were scrubbed by Admiral Rogers and they're playing the games, because, this whole thing has to be controlled. There can't be any people that are just, allowed to act willy-nilly. They have to go to these people. Like when judges, like when the Supreme Court didn't give Trump standing on the election.
Right. Yeah.
And pardon me, but what's the number of supposed conservative judges versus liberal?
We're supposed to have a majority.
Right.
Supposed to.
So I believe it's 6-3, but we already know that Roberts, he's never been a conservative.
Mm-hmm.
So I always put it at we're really at 5-4.
Yeah.
And I think that this goes all the way there. You can't. This isn't like normal operations. The stuff that's happening. Look at when we had the hanging Chads. Remember that in Florida?
Yeah.
Sure.
That got right to the Supreme Court. They made an emergency.
That's right.
They went right there. So
As a
why
matter of fact,
wouldn't
they
you
were
have
the ones?
standing?
They were the ones that placed Bush in
Yes.
in presidency.
Yes, and nobody whined, bitched, or complained, right? Because all the people in the country thought, oh yeah, this has got to go to the Supreme Court because they're the only ones who can really rule on this. This is big. The fate of the whole election in our democracy is hanging in the balance.
Yes.
But you're telling me that Trump didn't have status?
Yeah. No way.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
doesn't
that
make-
always, stuck in my craw a little bit.
That's a good point.
Reorganization is underway and happening. Coincident, Senate Republicans pushing for federal judge confirmations last week. Why are Senate Republicans dropping out? Not by choice, and were offered a choice. Rest assured they will vote pro-Trump. And if you look at all the confirmations of the federal judges, Trump got 300, I believe.
Yeah, it was over. Yeah, I think it was over 300.
And if say Trump is just a guy that got elected, he's a Republican, but he hasn't been a normal, he hasn't come up through the normal chains. He wasn't a mayor, he wasn't a governor. He had no political background. And then all of a sudden, if the establishment were really to turn their backs on him and not want him to get anything done because they're against him, they would have never confirmed 300 judges.
Right.
If you look that part doesn't make sense either because that's huge. That's the most sitting judges since George Washington.
Mm-hmm. It was huge.
Think of
It was a huge
That's-
accomplishment.
That's 6 in state.
So, and by the way, we were just here at 8. I want to say 2 or 3 times in the past week. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean we're going down some of the similar paths that we've already gone down, but I can tie this together, and it's really kind of cool. So when we were talking about how Igor Danchenko got arrested,
Yes.
and that is a direct lead to HRC.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the post that said we tried to cut HRC tried to cut a deal today. We said no.
Right.
HRC, if you look at Huma, let's go to Huma's Twitter. And she's been tweeting up a storm for somebody that, and she's been all over the news.
Yeah.
And this is, I said, this is surreal. It was 4 hours ago, Dave.
Four hours ago, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one I want to pay attention to.
Very interesting.
And this was at 8:41.
Yep, 8:41, And by the way, here's her schedule too. Thursday, November 4th, in conversation with Hillary Rodham Clinton, New York, New York, in person. So let's go to, I'm sorry, there it is.
And didn't Winsome Sears also call out Joy Reid just recently, saying that she would welcome an interview with her because she's been lying every chance she gets.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that's been saying that the Republicans are making up CRT when it's actually in
Right.
their it is right in their handbook. It's they've got documentation of it. They didn't make anything up on CRT,
Mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to be pushed. So for anybody that can read, you know, you don't have to listen. You don't have to listen to these people. You can go and find it yourself.
Yeah. 831.
There's documentation. Yeah.
March 3rd, 2018. Where we go one, we go all.
It's 841, brother.
841, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The spellings matter. 841. Okay. Go ahead. March 4th, 2018.
Okay, so now some of these I've noticed, you know, I told you about when I did Pompeo or Scavino. Sometimes the immediate calm is not what you're looking for.
Right.
It may give you, you know, and a lot of people will quit there if they don't know how to go farther. And this one, you know, seemed a little bit irrelevant, but I'll go ahead and show you how I got to where I got.
Okay.
I'll read this. March 4th, 2018. I've been seeing hashtag free the internet, hashtag internet bill of rights. Seems good to me. Anyone from War Room here with time charts for maximized reach. Now, War Room's been really on fire. And that, if you don't watch War Room,
Steve Bannon, yeah.
Steve Bannon and his group, they've been kicking butt. They're even they're talking about AI every day, about transhumanism and all that, you know, stuff that conspiracy theorists think of.
Right.
But they have doctors that are coming on and saying the same things we are about what's in these posts. So then it says, has Q ever mentioned Internet Bill of Rights? And then it says reread drops, and it talks about a story, consumers need an internet bill of rights. It's a link. But the other thing that was sticking in my mind that actually has been really beaten into our heads recently is that you have to mirror everything.
Right.
And so I mirrored 841.
And some of the best stuff that we've gotten is from mirroring.
Yeah, because I don't think they want to make it so easy to get to the information that,
Right.
you know, like my son Gage can do it.
Right. Right. So 148, November 12th, 2017, got a Delta coming up.
That's the day after Delta of the 11.5, which we think, or a week after, and we think that could be a significant time. It says New York Times Clowns in America article released today regarding Q Group is a direct attack warning regarding what is being dropped here. Read between the lines. Why was the article published today? POTUS has been briefed. New measures active and in place. Upgrade the graphic. Now, here's where I really thought there was something. We can never really, we have a hard time with all of these, codes.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say that I get it all the time, but did you show the tweet for Huma?
I did. Let me pull that back up. This is the tweet at, she retweeted Liza Donnelly. She says, "This is surreal. And then 3 hearts, Samantha Berry, Hillary Clinton at 92Y. Liza Donnelly at 92Y, listening to Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, and Samantha Berry have a great time telling stories and laughing. Women, politics, laughter. And
what I noticed, look in the middle, Dave.
Of the picture?
Yeah, that's Huma in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, go back to the post. To the Q post, Q drop.
Oh, sorry. That's a drop, yeah. Okay. Green
the second
1.
line, green 1, green 2, green 3, green 4.
Mm-hmm.
What color is she wearing?
Green.
I mean, all the way down to green shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, heck, if this is a comm, man, I'm going to dig into this picture. So I looked at the picture, Dave. First of all, I noticed that Hillary's hand looks really weird. That looks like a rabbit or a chicken or
It
something.
does. Yeah.
Doesn't it look really kind of weird?
Yeah.
Now, look on her. It would be facing us, but it would be her left shoulder. Blow that up.
Hold on.
I was looking for like something that stuck out. Look on her. It would be, first of all, the hand kind of was like I said, it looks like, I don't know. It looked weird, but look at HRC's shoulder. What is that on her shoulder right there, Dave? I'll just let you figure it out.
27.
Yep.
Clear as day.
Yep.
27.
Yep.
Not everything can be publicly disclosed because so much ties back to foreign heads of state. Much will be revealed. We want transparency, but not at a cost we can't recover from. We were just there. You took us there from... How did we get to 27? Was that... that was from 278...
278, 27, and 8. Yeah.
Yeah, 27 and 8. 278. You went red wave. And then on the red wave in the signature, you went down to the signature. Signatures are important. Okay. We also said signatures are important. So you go to the signature up here of red wave, okay, which was about the Republicans winning a seat that hadn't been held by a Republican in 139 years in Texas. But also we went to 278 off of that because the blue on this one, where the signature is important, is 278. So we did 278, and it goes directly to HRC tried to cut a deal today. We said no. We knew that 8 is related to Huma because we've been covering this so much, but you broke up 27 and 8. So we go to 27 and 8, and there's 27. And here is Hillary's shirt.
And 8's all about Huma.
And 8's all about a Huma. 8 and 27.
And then if you look, Dave, in
And
that
here's
picture
Huma.
again,
Huma, husband in jail. And by the way, was she with HRC on her book tour? Yes, freaking today.
she's sitting right there.
She's sitting right there, but not on Hillary's book tour, but on Huma's book tour.
Yeah, who would have thunk?
Because back then, like you said, we thought, oh, it'll be on Huma's or Hillary's book tour that Huma might be with her. No, think mirror. It's Huma's book tour.
Now, Dave, look at see where she's holding the microphone?
Yes.
look under her forearm there, and that almost looks like an 8, doesn't it? Or it could be meta.
Yeah. This one right here, the one
Yep.
right underneath.
Yep.
Yep, that could be meta.
And then the one on her bottom left coat tail there that's hanging off looks like V for Vendetta to me.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking when that's why I got the cursor sitting right there.
And we just went there. Plus that's 5.
5, November 5th.
And then look on her other sleeve. You see another possible V.
Yep.
So that would be 5-5.
Yeah, on each side, opposite sides. Folks, there's no question that that's a 27, right?
That's not an artist
No.
screwing up or just scribbling.
No.
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, that's a 27."
Brilliant, Todd.
And that's why I let you do it, because I was like, Dave's going to get this right off. And then do you see right below the 27, there's like a perfect dot?
Yes.
Now, would that be a button of some kind? But why would it be over there? And then there's another perfect dot right where her little finger's pointing. But I don't know. It just, and then there were other things, and I had to stretch them. And the hair of the girl on the left wearing the red shoes.
Oh, right. Yeah. Red Shoe Club.
Yeah. That to me kind of, when I see red shoes now, I always kind of flinch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looked like, there were different ways that you could have her hair stranded. It looked like I could see a JFK, but it's not real. It's kind of a reach. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see a J and I see an F and then I see a K, but if I'm right on that, please Q, send me a message and just say,
Right.
Okay, Todd, you got it. That'll be good enough. But there's definite comms in there, and I think the thing that gave it away was her weird hand, and even look at the hand on Huma. If you're drawing a cartoon, it looks like more like a claw.
Yeah.
You see her hand, and then she's got a hidden hand also.
Hidden hand, Masonic.
Yeah.
And there's a picture between them, and immediately what I thought of was Frazzle Drip. A deformed face, the hair being torn out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That ties them together.
And then I thought, like, over to the right of Hillary, as we're looking at her, it would be her left arm. That looks like a 7. So I was looking for a 1. But I can't say unless you use, you'd have to stretch it.
Nothing's as clear. Nothing's as clear as the 2 and the 7, and then the 5-5 I think is great. That's powerful.
The
compared to the dives.
giveaway is like her claw hand, Dave. I mean,
Yeah.
If I'm a cartoonist, I might make like a hand, like a Twirly Brown hand.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 fingers or something.
And by the way, to me, that's a bunny looking at the picture of Frazzle Drip.
It's just odd.
Yeah. You can make this a lot of different things, but the one thing you can't take away is the fact that that is a 2 and that is a 7, and we were completely dialed into that with your dive. That was based on, something very natural that we do all the time. And by the way, a lot of 911s in those drops as well.
Yeah,
Red wave, white squall. I wonder if that, tsunami maybe.
Yeah, the red wave drops are all good on their face value.
Mm-hmm.
But I was drawn to the only one that had a signature. But
Yeah.
yes, they're all really good.
The American people are awake. You lost control. Sheep no more.
Yep.
You underestimated their resolve and their ability to free think away from the pipeline narrative. We will declass. We
And
will
that's
shine
another
light.
thing. Yeah, Durham. Durham just indicted somebody and actually had him arrested today.
Yes.
That's part of
Literally
it.
arrested. Yep. There is nowhere to hide. No amount of money, influence, or power can stop this.
Yep.
Our rights to secure and protect at all costs then become justified. We stand at the ready. Red wave, white squall, in God we trust. Mm-hmm.
And then you get your confirmation with the big, with the green dress and the green shoes, and then
Yep.
the last thing we look at on 148 is green 1, green 2, green 3, green 4.
Yep.
I don't know.
Dude, I'm sorry, dude. That's a mic drop. We're done.
Yep.
We're done. That was brilliant, brother.
I think we're done. That's
Uh,
I looked at a lot of information to get what I got, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I had to dig into a cartoon. But if
Yeah.
we're getting comms, Dave, 27 on her shoulder. I mean, I just asked you what is that, and you went 27, like
Yep.
like duh.
Yep.
Now, the other thing that I wanted to do, one quick
And,
one, Dave.
and by the way, brother, I just wanted to take us to 55, which was the 5-5 on her sleeves. And
Yeah,
that's November 2nd, which was the release of Huma's book.
yeah,
Looked at Twitter, exactly this. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. God bless.
yep.
And
And one
and
other,
tomorrow is the 5th, which is a
yes.
Friday.
Remember the 5th of
November.
November.
Yeah. 5/11,
And
11/5.
it just gets better from there, Dave. I only want to do one more quick thing, but this
Okay.
is a quick confirmation. Go to Pompeo real quick.
Okay. Dude, that Huma dive, I was expecting something really good. I wasn't expecting that was phenomenal, brother. Great job, man. Tesla, you continue to blow our socks off. So well done, my friend.
It's fun.
Dude, my feet are cold right now, okay? All right.
Okay.
So I'm at Pompeo.
All right, go to the drop where he talks about I've known Ambassador Marianne Glendon for 30 years now.
Got it. It's up.
You don't even have to do anything other than now just go down. Just you can read that if you want, but that's not the point. Go
Sure.
to DuckDuckGo and put in Irving Crystal, the person who was
Okay.
the award was named after, and then just go to Wikipedia and see what it says.
Irving Crystal, born January 22nd, 1920, died September 18th, 2009, was an American journalist who was dubbed the Godfather.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
That's what I said. And he is the father of William Crystal, known as Bill Crystal.
Yeah.
Might want to go down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
But I thought I would just kind of blow your socks off with The Godfather. And then The Godfather 3 we'll have to see, is there I haven't linked all that together yet, but I'm sure there's more in there. But
so check this out. His ideas During the late 60s up until the 70s, neoconservatives, which is what he was, were worried about the Cold War and that its liberalism was turning into radicalism. Thus, many neoconservatives, including Irving Kristol, Norman Pohoretz, and Daniel Patrick Moynihan, who was a congressman, wanted Democrats to continue on a strong anti-communist foreign policy. This foreign policy was to use Soviet human rights violations to attack the Soviet Union. This later led to Nixon's policies called détente. And that was the lessons from the Soviet Union and the Cold War that the Democrats should have jumped on. No, they went the exact opposite way.
Yep, they went 100% the other direction.
He has one of his early books, Two Cheers for Capitalism, asserts that capitalism, or more precisely bourgeois capitalism, is worthy of two cheers. One cheer because it works in a quite simple material sense by improving the conditions of people, and a second cheer because it is congenial to a large measure of personal liberty. He argues these are no small achievements and only capitalism has proved capable of providing them. However, it also imposes a great psychic burden upon the individual and the social order because it does not meet the individual's existential human needs. It creates a spiritual malaise that threatens the legitimacy of that social order. As much as anything else, it is the withholding of that potential third cheer that is the distinct mark of neoconservatism as Kristol understood it.
And when you said that, that's how we come up with crystal clear.
There you go. Crystal clear. That and, Swarovski might have something to say about that. Swarovski crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. I was already putting away my computer and stuff because I'm done.
Yeah, dude, I didn't expect you to get to Swarovski crystal reference. Eating off paper plates at that.
Dude, I can take a picture because when I wrote down all of Trump's information on the paper plate, I've got a paper plate laying right next to me with writing on the back of it. So I tend to run out of paper. Sometimes I get ideas and I just have a paper plate.
Nice, dude.
And the bad thing is then sometimes it gets thrown away and I have to go through the garbage and stuff. So it turns out being it's counterproductive.
If I was a betting man, I'd say shit's going down tomorrow. And yet, I don't have enough money to bet. So, folks, check out 7K Silver. A little segue here, okay?
Hey, Dave, silver went up today, 3.7%, I believe.
Nice. The Indoctrination. Guys, please click on Patriot Silver. Check us out. My interview with Jason Arfman, CEO, who I've done 2 interviews with. Just fill in your information and you will get a call from us about joining the Patriot Silver team. We are over 270 strong right now. And I will say this, when we're talking about money, Todd, over a week ago, 17 people got a minimum of $250. And then this past week, 12 people. We're going to keep those numbers rolling, folks, because this is about empowering, repowering you financially, because look at inflation, look what's happening. This is a natural conversation, having Patriot Silver conversation. It's just, we were talking about this before the show a little bit, and I said, Dave, if we can't get people to purchase silver and gold in a highly inflationary period that we're going through, and
it's not even here yet. The inflation I'm talking about is not even here yet. So what
No.
is your paper money going to be worth, when we have supply shortages and say, oh,
Yeah.
gasoline, if they start rationing like they did in the 70s, look, we're going through the 70s again, folks. Jimmy Carter's in office now. He's just
Yep.
more stupid.
Yeah.
At least Jimmy Carter was likable.
This is Jimmy Carter without the carpentry skills.
Well,
Dollar.
Jimmy Carter could at least, he was a likable fella.
So, dude, have everybody go to DuckDuckGo, type in dollar crash, and just see what pops up. This is U.S. dollar will crash in 2021. Senior Yale economist warns. Yale economist Stephen Roach has predicted a U.S. dollar crash by the end of 2021, joining a growing number of other analysts with this prediction. Okay? They're saying the U.S. dollar will crash in value by the end of 2021. He also said the probability of a double dip recession is now over 50%. He said a 35% crash is virtually inevitable, but now he sees the indicators of collapse, U.S. current account deficit, and decline in savings as much worse than before. His dire warnings have become
as the stock market climbs every day. It doesn't make sense.
No. His dire warnings have become increasingly credible over the past few months. The dollar has weakened repeatedly against G10 currencies. Other analysts and currency forecasters have also predicted its downfall. And this isn't the only article, folks. Is the dollar crash coming? That's a question that gets answered there. The dollar's crash is only just the beginning. This is again by Stephen Roach, but on Bloomberg. Okay. Printed to death. Dollar due to crash in 2021. The U.S. is facing a dollar collapse by the end of 2021. What would it take for the U.S. Dollar to collapse? 10 things you must do before the dollar collapses. Let's see what they say. Where is silver and gold preparation? Stockpile barter items. Make the jump to a primarily digital-based income. Digital currencies. I disagree with the digital currencies.
Hard assets.
Hard assets. Hard assets.
The last time I beat my head against a metal wall, that was pretty hard. So I'm thinking maybe precious metals is where people should be. But I'm no financial
Precious metals.
advisor. But I can tell you one thing, Dave. If I'm hearing supply chains breaking down, that limits supply. Okay, that's a supply chain. What do we learn? Supply and demand, correct?
Yep.
Well, they're telling you the supply's broken, okay? And then the other thing is, if it costs more in fuel to deliver even the fewer products you get, there's more inflation because they will pass that on to you. You don't, the truck driver's not going to do the route for the same price if he's got to pay twice as much for gas or diesel, whatever.
Yep.
You can see it coming. You don't even need binoculars anymore, but it's not here. You're seeing 5%. Nobody feels 5%, Dave. 5% on your hamburger, your meat or whatever. No. That's the boiling the frog alive thing, where you start with the pot of water at room temperature and you slowly cook it. But you don't want to be that frog when it's boiling. And you don't want to make your jump and say, oh, my God, I think I want to go to gold and silver now, or I want to move some assets in the, and I want to get my refrigerator stocked and, have 2 weeks supplies. You don't want to be there when you need it. You want to be there ahead of time. So I'm just warning everybody.
Yep. Hey, Todd's absolutely. And by the way, 7K, which is what Patriot Silver, we team with 7K. 5 years in business, debt free, been doubling business every year since, doubled their last year's business as of July, sent more checks out a week ago by double than ever before. And that's the kind of exponential growth we're seeing with this company and with our team. And so that's going to just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I wanted to just say that if you're buying bullion, check the prices of 7K before you do, because you're going to find that they're dealer direct prices. They don't make any money off the bullion. They're trying to get you in to the buying club so that you get interested in the numismatic coins, which are increasing in value much, much faster than the gold and silver bullion. Much, much faster. Todd, everyone was saying mirror 27, several of the Sneds to 72. And that one was just November 4th, by the way. So that's a today Delta.
A Delta,
right? And also it has 44 in there, okay, in the timestamp. And everybody knows that 44 matches with 55, right alongside 55 with the 44. You're going to get, let me take you down to that before we finish 72. Before POTUS departs on Friday, he will be sending an important message via Twitter. God bless. Okay, that Delta was November 2nd, 2017. This week in 2017.
Huma's book date, yeah.
It was Huma's book release date, exactly. And Q's book date, because, as you said, Q dropped a bunch of drops on that day.
Yep.
No, so wait. Go back to the post about the families that run everything and Trump taking one out. Was one of them this Saudi family? Seriously, because that makes this a happening. I remember the phrasing not making sense. I was like, oh, does he mean that DT took out the Clintons? But the Clintons were on the list as remaining, so I didn't know who was taken out. Q says, this is an Anon saying this. Q says, very smart, Anon. Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. Saudi Arabia is the primary. U.S. is the secondary. Then Asia, EU, ... Alice and Wonderland. Okay? So that was Hillary Clinton and the bloody Wonderland, Saudi Arabia, and the funding of the Clinton Foundation out of Saudi Arabia, and also the supercomputer that we believe is in Saudi Arabia, and then also Asia EU, and then saving Israel for last is one of the other drops. I don't know which one that is, but so
yeah, you can. I take these dives a lot deeper than I take them on the show, because I want to show you something that's gonna be like, whoa, and that's what I think we got with the other one. I mirrored all these. I followed these things down paths and I did. This wasn't the only thing I did today, so I did everything.
Yeah.
And I do the unique stuff because I don't want to do what other people do, because I just think, well, why would I go to look at Kim Shady, who does a fantastic job. She's great. The real Kim Shady.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's awesome. And, but I don't look at her stuff unless somebody sends it to me, and I've already done. Sometimes it's amazing that we've done the same thing and gone different paths, but came out with similar information.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's uncanny some of the stuff that overlaps the stuff that we're doing. Because most people don't know. We don't even talk. We rarely talk outside of the show.
No,
we used to a lot more. We'd talk, but we rarely talk outside the show. At all.
Today I was, running kids from school, and I worked, ran kids. Yep. Then we had the basketball tournament, which the 8th graders won, which was great. Gage was he just had to be there to support the 8th graders. He didn't play or anything, but he had to be there, so I had to be there. So I got to watch a good basketball game, and then come home and share this information. So yeah, we had about a 5 minute conversation around 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's rare that we get a chance to do that.
Yep.
And this is the red shoes. Some of you were asking about the red shoes, and this was the woman. And the red shoes, as we know, uh, there are a couple things here that are really disturbing. One is the red shoes, which is human skin shoes,
Yeah.
children. And then the other thing is this kind of disturbing kind of. I see a rabbit here with her fingers, and then I see this is supposed to be Huma's book, but I see that as the frazzle drip. Um, and and then of course the 27 and then the 5-5. Yeah, man, this is some great comms they're dropping, and
I mean, if it's
we're picking
not,
up on.
if it's not, then why do the other things match up with Huma and HRC and Book Tour? I mean, just
Yeah, exactly.
you can't like
No.
stretch things to make
Yeah.
this happen.
And if things don't go down tomorrow, which I think they may, and what does that look like? Well, that looks like, possibly a major arrest, possibly into 10 days of darkness. But we've been here many times, and one of the drops that was from tonight, Todd, was disinformation is necessary.
Yep.
Why is disinformation necessary? Because they got to take the people out, and so they've got to let them know, oh yep, it's coming, you guys better watch out. All our comms say it's coming, and then it comes and goes, but not before those people were like having heart attacks, wondering, oh my gosh, is this it, is this it, is this it, oh my god, oh my god, oh my
And
god,
who
oh my
knows
god.
how it rolls out, Dave? Who knows?
Yeah.
Nobody knows the end game. Nobody knows. We know we're moving to
Yeah.
a better place, but how we get there and how fast. I mean,
Yeah.
I remain cautious, but I tell everybody when
Yeah.
I post on Facebook, I have to share this information that I get.
Yeah.
If I didn't share it, then
Yeah.
and you guys, you can believe what you want. I'm not asking you or selling anything to you to believe anything, but you can see the information that I share,
Yep.
and I just, like I said, they've pointed to certain dates
Excuse me.
before, and we don't know why it didn't happen, but obviously we
Well,
explained it off as
my
head
gosh.
fake jabs.
Todd, can you imagine if this happened a year ago and nobody would be talking about the vaccines? Now
Yeah,
everybody.
the medical community would have gotten off scot free.
So I'm going to drop. I meant to drop it this weekend, but it was a show that I did. I started out dry outside. I ended up soaking wet. I don't know if you remember that, but it was basically it was thunder and lightning, and
Now,
I was.
you're talking about the clean version, right? You're not like, this isn't your other career where you were,
I sense a joke coming on here, and I'm just waiting for it to get funny. But I'm afraid that we might be here all night, so I'm just going to cut that off. And so the rain's pouring down, and I'm talking about the tyranny of the vaccine, and it's well worth a watch. It's over two years old, but I was warning people about the regular vaccines back then, and knowing that's a genocide program, and so now when people see the deaths surrounding the COVID, they're going to start questioning all the jabs, and that is the greatest thing that we could do as humanity, is to say no to all vaccines. I'm telling you, folks, I know kids that haven't had a needle in them. They're the healthiest kids I know. I coach, I haven't in the past 2 years, but I did for 8 years before that, coach hundreds of kids a summer, hundreds. I see the sniffles, I see the allergy cards, I see the EpiPens, I see all of it. And then I see children that I know the families, and I know that they don't vaccinate, healthy. healthiest kids I've seen. And it's already been proven that unvaccinated children are healthier than vaccinated children. But no one was looking at that because they trust Big Pharma.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean,
look what's
Big
happening
Pharma
now.
just do the research on autism.
Yeah, the MMR, aluminum in the vaccines, and look at what's happening. Everyone points to, oh, the polio thing. We were already out of polio. We were coming out of polio before that
That was already
vaccine came
dried
along.
up.
And how many of those polio vaccines gave people cancer? Do that research.
Yep.
Do that research.
Cancer spiked, blood diseases, leukemia.
Yep.
But just look. If you got people that are questioning, then just take them on a little tour of what MRC5 is.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason that fetal tissue should be in a vaccine.
No. Hey, Repub King says, hi, Sneds. Just tuning in from Vanderbilt Medical Center here in Nashville. Hubby in ICU again. I'm sorry to hear that. We'll prayers for him going up tonight. And this is awesome. Debbie was with Del Bigtree during the opening of the Vaxxed movie. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Del Bigtree, my friends, will be knighted one day, and I hope I'm there to witness it. And I'm not talking about being knighted by the Queen. I'm talking about figuratively, being knighted for his work as a real warrior, as a real knight in shining armor. Del Bigtree, what he has done for children and their parents is just amazing. Just amazing.
Keep your eye on the Queen too.
And,
Might be some,
and RFK Jr.
Might be some news out of London.
Yeah, and which would start. The thing about the Queen is when she dies, there's 10 days of darkness.
Yeah, they have 10 steps that'll immediately happen. And
Yeah.
we might not know about it, but maybe they'll reveal it.
Yep, exactly. So maybe the Queen goes down tomorrow, or maybe she's already down. And yeah. So my friends,
just keep your ear to the ground.
Yep.
There's a lot happening. If you haven't seen it, you're not paying attention. But we want that. We do want that mass pop, the mass awakening, and I think we're getting close. So,
and if it doesn't happen tomorrow, I look forward to more awakening. But think about how many people are going to awaken, Todd, who have 5 to 11-year-olds, and are going to be like, you know what? Let's take a closer look at this.
Yeah.
Or no, not my child. And would you say Biden's speech about that? It was like 85% of the comments were like, stay the hell away from my child. You're not touching my child.
Yep. It was very, very negative.
Yeah.
There was, they always have their own shills, and it's usually the same. If you watch them closely, it's the same people. They might have 5 or 10 that just keep repeating the same, like Joe Biden's the best president ever, and you look at it and it'll say Mikey C or something, whatever the fake name.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I even take the time to go and check them out on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're a bot.
Yeah. A couple things. Somebody asked about the significance of 27. Go back about an hour into the show, and Todd will knock your socks off. So go ahead, but just make sure that your feet are nice and warm before that happens. And then also, some of you were asking about the what else? Yeah, if you guys are just coming in, go back. Well, the first show was amazing, okay? First half of the show tonight. There's 2 Thursday shows. The first one crushed it. The show notes, if you have any issues, anybody that has issues with you and your opinion about the vax, please send them that video and tell them to watch the second hour of that video. Second of all, this show, please share this out because this was unbelievable and could lead to the next movement that we see. So, Todd, thank you, brother. Great job tonight, as always.
Problem. Yep.
And we'll talk tomorrow for tomorrow night's show.
Yeah, man. Love you, Schneds. Hey, get out of your foxholes and be loud. This is no time to be cowering in your holes. You got more of us out there than you know. You're going to link up. You're going to bridge, and it's just going to this movement. I've heard it equated to a snowball starting at the top of the hill, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it gets momentum, and then it just then nothing can stop it. It's like an avalanche, and it's coming. So hopefully tomorrow, people can see this big ball rolling down the hill and they know what's coming. So there'll be panic in DC.
Hey, Windy 72 City sent an interesting link to Ada's Messenger about 27 and Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah, the 27 Club too.
Yeah, the 27 Club, absolutely. Would you send that to me? Do you have access to that?
Oh, yeah, I'll have to track Ada down. She's been trying to.
Okay.
I think she's brushing up on kids' homework and stuff.
Or Windy 72 City, you can send it to me as well. We may not get to it tonight, but we got more to talk about tomorrow. All right, brother. Good night, man.
All right, love you guys. Love you, Schneider.
Love you, man. See you, pal.
Good night.
All right, folks. Tesla does it again, and just paying attention. And learning our comms, my friends. This is what this is all about. What a night, folks. History is being made, and we are here together to witness it, to decipher it, to learn the comms, to figure out what is happening next. And while we don't always figure out the strategy, the timing, and the actions that could put people at risk that are actually doing the arrests and so forth, we do have a sense, I think, I'm not going to speak for you, but based on all the feedback I get from you all, is that we have a sense of things are happening in a really good way, even despite the shit show that we're in, that things are happening because of the awakening that's happening, because of the conversations that are happening, because of the walkouts that are happening, because of the tyranny that we're experiencing. Only at the precipice will humanity engage, participate, and show their real strength. It had to come into our living room. It had to come right at us. It had to come for our children. They had to come for our children. We know they've already come for many other children. Like thousands every day, they come for our children in the past. But now they're coming for all of them. And we're ready. And we're saying, no, I do not comply. You do not have dominion over me. You do not have dominion over my child. You do not have dominion over humanity. The states are stepping up and saying you don't have dominion over this state, or this state, or this state, or this state. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Dakota, Montana, Nebraska, Texas, Alaska, folks, Arkansas, Missouri. You don't have dominion over us. Like that. Nullifying the federal government and its overreach, violating our constitutional rights. Done. You're done. You're done. And it took all the events that happened here. Folks, you remember breaking up with somebody and it being the most crushing defeat that you ever experienced and you thought you'd never get over it? And then time passes and then you find the love of your life, or you find another relationship that you never would have had that first one not ended, or that second or third one not ended the way it did. Remember being in the throes of depression of those relationships, the end of those relationships that you thought would never end, only to awaken to something far more beautiful, far more special. God's delays are not God's denials. We need our patience. We need our love. We need our compassion. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all together tonight. We ask you for all of the strength that you ever saw us capable of, to help us find that strength, help us find that love, help us find that compassion for our fellow man, for our children, and for ourselves. We ask for your forgiveness. We ask for you to help us forgive others and to forgive ourselves. And we open our hearts in love to change this planet for the better and move on into a whole new paradigm without the evil, without the satanic cabal that has ruled humanity for eons. Thank you for the Q team. Thank you for the information that has been revealed to us that has helped to set us free. We are so grateful for this information. We are so grateful to President Trump and his team and all the people who are fighting for humanity. God bless us all. Thy will be done. In Jesus Christ's name we pray in gratitude for all that we are witnessing, so that our eyes may see more clearly than ever before. Amen. Almost 11 o'clock on the West Coast, my friends. Still 1,200 of you hanging. I love you all. Be well and be safe. Love you. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.